Good morning. We are on week 26, day 1. I am pre-recording, so actually today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. You guys are going to be all amped up full of sugar later. So let me get this done for you. Focus here. All right, so I have 215 times 7100. Okay, the decimal, remember, separates the fractional part from the whole number. The fractional part is always on the right side of the decimal. And there you go. This is a place value of tenths and hundredths. So before I like to stack these numbers in a standard algorithm, like so. I'm going to ditch the 0 because he's right here. He doesn't have any value. There's no values in the 1, so it's just 7100. I can do that, and it helps the multiplication process go faster. All right, so here I'm going to do my 1 to my 1s. So 1 times 1 is 5, and 1 times 1, 1 to the 10s is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, and here's the most important part. You need to put a 0 here as a placeholder because we're moving over to the 10th place. Okay, and we've already multiplied this side, so we need to go to move it over, put a 0. Okay, so now 7 times 5 is 35. I put the 5 here, bring the 3 up above the 1 because that's my next number to multiply. 1 times 7 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. I put the 0 here, and I put my 1 up here. Now I have 7 times 2 is 14, and then I add the 1, it's 15. Okay, and now I'm going to add the two products together. I get 5, 6, 2, 5, and 1. Okay, and then I forgot to tell you, when we multiply decimals, we ignore the decimals first. And then we're going to count over. We got to add the decimal parts back in. Okay, so now we find out how many we had in there. 1, 2. There's two place values or two fractional parts. So I come from here and I count over 2. 1, 2. So my new product should be 152 and 65 hundredths. Okay? And now here we are. We're finding the area of a rectangle. Well, I know that area equals length times width. And so I'm going to start the length because the length is the biggest one, and that's 8. And then it's multiplied by the width, which is 2/3 inches. Okay, I can't multiply it the way it is. I have to turn 8 into a whole fraction. And all I do there is I just put the 1 under it. Okay? And now I multiply like normal. I'm going to do the easy one that I know how to do first. I know 1 times 3 is 3. And know 8 times 2 is 16. And so I have 16/3. Okay? But I can't leave it like that. I have to turn it into I have to simplify it. So I'm going to convert it into a vinculum. Okay? This is equal to this. And now I just solve it. 3 goes into 16 8 times. I know 8. Oops, not 8. What is it? 6? No. Yeah, I'm wrong. Ay, ay, ay. 3 times 5. How about that? 15 times. And then I subtract, and I get 1 left over. Whew, this is a lot of math in this one. All right, so I know there's 5 whole numbers, right, in this one because we cut it up into 5 equal parts. There was 1 left over, so that's my new numerator. My denominator stays the same as 3. Now I can't forget to put the unit. It's in inches. However, I can't leave the inches just like that because I multiplied 2 dimensions, 1, 2, length times width. That means I have to put a square up here, okay? So don't forget to put that square. It's very important. So your total should be 5 and 1/3 inches squared. Okay, thank you. And then I have finding the volume of the cube. I know volume is equal to length times width times height. Okay? And now I know here, this is a square here, but it only gives me one length here, the 2. So what do I know about a square? Well, this looks like a right angle. This looks like a right angle. This looks like a right angle, and this looks like a right angle. I'm pretty sure that the square has 4 equal sides because all of these right angles in here, in between these little angles. Okay? So that tells me that this is worth 2, this is worth 2 feet, and the length is worth 2 feet. So 2 feet, 2 feet, and then the width. So 2 feet. Okay, so this is going to be easy, right? 2 times 2 times 2. A lot of times in a test, they'll just give you one part of the measurement, and they'll hope that you know that this is a square and that all sides are equal in a square. Okay, and if you know that, then you know that 2 times 2 times 2 is going to equal the volume. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So my volume is 8 cubic feet. I'm going to put it up here, 8. Then I have fractions. I need to add them, but I can't add them or subtract them unless they have an equal denominator. So I have to find the common multiples. I like to make a little chart like this to help me keep track. And I know I'm going to start with my 6's first because I can do those pretty quickly. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54. I think I'll stop there just because I ran out of paper. Womp womp. Okay, I'm moving over to 16 now. And now I'm going to do 16 times 1 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 16 times 3 is 48. Oh, I can stop. I see the first and lowest common denominator, 48. They both have 48 in common. So I'm going to put 48 as my new denominator. Okay. And now I remember that there was 3 multiples to get to 48. 1, 2, 3 on the 16. So I had to multiply 16 times 3 to get 48. And so whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. I have 3 times 3, it equals 9. And so here I'm going to do the same thing. 6. I have how many multiples to get to 48? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I multiplied 6 times 8 to get 48. Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 1 times 8 is 8. And now I can add them because we have the like denominator. So the denominator doesn't change because the denominator tells me how many total parts there were. And the numerators tell me the parts that we were counting. So we were just counting right now. We're adding 9 plus 8, which equals 17. I know that 17 is a prime number. That means that it can only be divided by 17, and so there's nothing else that divides into it equally. So I know I can leave this alone. It is at its reduced state, and there is day 1. All right, do a good job today. Be happy.